All right. Hello, hello. Coach Kevin here, and we're going to go ahead and get started now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. First thing I want to go ahead and do is share my screen with you guys. And if you are not on mute, would you mind putting yourself on mute for now? Everybody will have plenty of opportunity for comments and for
Yep.
questions and things like that. But if you could go ahead and mute yourselves right now, that would be terrific. Thank you. Let's see. Maybe I have to go do that for you guys. All right, I think we're good. All right, first thing I would like to share with you is for those of you, this is your very first time, want to let you know that we have a Facebook group that coincides with this meetup. It has the exact same name. It's called I Want to Be Really Rich, and I do not apologize for it. The way you can find us is you can go into your own Facebook, go into the search bar and start typing in I want to be really rich, and I do not apologize for it, and you will find us. The other way you can find us is go to facebook.com/groups/ I want to be really rich. So those are the ways that you can find us. Why would you want to join the group? A few different reasons. Reason number one, excuse me, if we have any special announcements or anything, they'll be posted here for you. The other thing is we take the recordings from the previous Zoom meetings and we put them in here to archive them. The other reason you'd want to join is outside of the 45 minutes or so we have together Monday through Friday, it's a place where you can go ahead and ask questions. Also, if you happen to attend a session that you really like, you could go review it, or if you missed something because you weren't able to be on, you can go back and review it. So a lot of good reasons to join the Facebook group. That being said, the next thing I want to share with you is, let's see, this will pop up here in a moment. What it is we're in the middle of going through right now. We've been together for several weeks now. Since early November, we've had this group going, and we've gone through different materials and kind of taken apart, studied them, and shared commentary. I've shared my experiences with it as a law of attraction coach. And we are currently in a book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. So I have a Kindle version. I probably even have a paperback version lying around somewhere. I've read this book a few different times, but it has been several years ago. What I really enjoy about this book and why I decided to bring it out to us to go over and to talk about is because outside of the law of attraction functions perfectly. A lot of people think it doesn't work right, or I'm not doing something right per se and not getting the results that they want. Well, the reason that you may not be getting the results that you want is because of your subconscious programming. Well, what does that mean? That's why we're going through the book. We're learning about the difference between the conscious and the subconscious mind, how they interact with each other, also how powerful the subconscious mind is and how it reacts with the universe and with God. And we're learning actually how things work for us so that we can actually have better control over that. Once we have better control over what our subconscious mind is doing from us, it actually reverts from being sometimes our worst enemy. It actually turns into our greatest friend when it comes to manifesting money and wealth in our lives. So The Power of Your Subconscious Mind was written by Joseph Murphy. It's an older book. But what I did is I wanted to find a version that we could all go through. Not that the words are different, but I found a free one for you. All I did was type in The Power of Your Subconscious Mind PDF, and you can see some ads popped up. But the one that I chose is this one right here. I know you're like, what does logocenter.org have to do with the book? Don't worry about it. I don't know. It's where I found one of the best copies of it. So when you click on that copy, or you click on that URL right there, what'll happen is it'll bring up this copy for you. Now, what's cool about that is they don't even ask for your email address or name or anything. So you don't have to give any information to get a copy. The other thing is once you're on this page, then you can go to the download portion of it, click download, and then now it's yours, okay? We are currently on page 35 of 193 of the PDF file and of the book. And the way things roll right now is let me talk about chat for a moment. I don't pay any attention whatsoever to the chat function in Zoom because I'm busy sharing things with you guys. And what we do is for about the last 10 to 15 minutes, we open this up for discussion. And you're able to share your comments, you're able to share your experiences, and you're able to ask whatever questions that you have. So because we do it that way, just to keep us on track, it's much easier for me to ignore the chat and then to open it up. And then when I open it up, you're allowed to come off of mute and share whatever it is that you want to share. Okay. So I am going to hop in, start reading where we're at. I'll go for a while. I will share commentary where I feel it's appropriate, or maybe experience of my own where I feel it's appropriate and it can be helpful to you guys. And at this point, I'm going to take a sip of water and then we'll get going. Whether you are, how the subconscious controls all functions of the body. Whether you are awake or asleep, the ceaseless, tireless action of your subconscious mind controls all the vital functions of your body without any need for your conscious mind to intervene. While you are asleep, your heart continues to beat rhythmically. Your chest and diaphragm muscles pump air in and out of your lungs. The carbon dioxide that is the byproduct of the activity of your body's cells is exchanged for fresh oxygen. Tongue-tied this morning. The fresh oxygen you need to go on functioning. Your subconscious controls your digestive processes and glandular secretions, as well as all the other wondrously complex operations of your body. All this happens whether you are awake or asleep. If you were forced to operate your body's functions with your conscious mind, you would certainly fail. You would probably die a very quick death. The processes are too complicated, too intertwined. The heart-lung machine that is used during an open heart surgery is one of the wonders of modern medical technology. But what it does is infinitely simpler than what your subconscious mind does 24 hours a day, year in, year out. Suppose you were crossing the ocean in a supersonic jetliner and you wandered into the cockpit. You certainly would not know how to fly the plane, but you would not find it difficult to distract the pilot and cause a problem. In the same way, your conscious mind cannot operate your body, but it can get in the way of proper operation. Worry, anxiety, fear, and depression interfere with the normal functioning of the heart, lungs, stomach, and intestines. The medical community is just beginning to appreciate how serious so-called stress-related diseases are. The reason is that these patterns of thought interfere with the harmonious functioning of your subconscious mind. When you feel physically and mentally disturbed, the best thing you can do is let go, relax, and still the wheels of your thought processes. Speak to your subconscious mind. Tell it to take over in peace, harmony, and divine order. You will find that all the functions of your body will become normal again. Be sure to speak to your subconscious mind with authority and conviction. It will respond by carrying out your command. How to get your subconscious to work for you. The first to realize is that your subconscious mind is always working. It is active night and day, whether you act upon it or not. Your subconscious is the builder of your body, but you cannot consciously perceive or hear the inner silent process. Your business is with your conscious mind and not your subconscious mind. Just keep your conscious mind busy with the expectation of the best and make sure the thoughts you habitually think are based on things that are lovely, true, just, and harmonious. Let me repeat what we were just saying here. Just keep your conscious mind busy with the expectation of the best. And make sure the thoughts you habitually think are based on things that are lovely, true, just, and harmonious. Begin now to take care of your conscious mind, knowing in your heart and soul that your subconscious mind is always expressing reproducing, and manifesting according to your habitual thinking. Remember, just as water takes the shape of the pipe it flows through, the life principle in you flows through you according to the nature of your thoughts. Claim that the healing presence in your subconscious is flowing through you as harmony, health, peace, joy, and abundance. Think of it as a living intelligence, a lovely companion on the way. Firmly believe it is continually flowing through you, vivifying, inspiring, and prospering you. It will respond exactly this way. It is done unto you as you believe. Repeat this. It is done unto you as you believe. Healing principle of the subconscious restores optic nerves. One of the most celebrated healing shrines in the world is at Lourdes in the southwestern France. The archives of the medical department of Lourdes are filled with dossiers that detail well-authenticated cases of what are termed as miraculous healings. One example among many is the case of Madame Bayer, who was blind, with optic nerves that were atrophied and useless. After she visited Lourdes, she regained her sight. Several doctors who examined her testified that her optic nerves were still useless, and yet she saw. A month later, a re-examination found that her visual mechanism had been fully restored to normal. I am thoroughly convinced that Madame Bayer was not healed by the waters of the shrine. What healed her was her own subconscious mind, which responded to her belief. Repeat that. What healed her was her own subconscious mind, which responded to her belief. The healing principle within her subconscious mind responded to the nature of her thought. Belief is a thought in the subconscious mind. It means to accept something as true. The thought accepted executes itself automatically. Undoubtedly, Madame Bayer went to the shrine with expectancy and great faith. She knew in her heart she would receive a healing. Her subconscious mind responded accordingly, releasing the ever-present healing forces. The subconscious mind that created the eye can certainly bring a dead nerve back to life. What the creative principle created, it can recreate. According to your belief, it is done unto you. How to convey the idea of perfect health to your subconscious mind. A Methodist minister I met in Johannesburg, South Africa, told me how he overcame an advanced case of lung cancer. The method he used was to convey the idea of perfect health to his subconscious mind. At my request, he sent me a detailed description of the process, which I now pass along to you. Several times a day, I would make certain that I was completely relaxed, mentally and physically. I relaxed my body by speaking to it as follows. My feet are relaxed, my ankles are relaxed, my legs are relaxed, my abdominal muscles are relaxed, my heart and lungs are relaxed. My head is relaxed, my whole body, or my whole being is completely relaxed. After about 5 minutes, I would find myself drifting into a sleepy, drowsy state. Then I affirm the following truth. The perfection of God is now being expressed through me. The idea of perfect health is now filling my subconscious mind. The image God has of me is a perfect image, and my subconscious mind recreates my body in perfect accordance with the perfect image held in the mind of God. This minister had a remarkable healing. The technique he used is a simple, straightforward way of conveying the idea of perfect health to your subconscious mind. Another wonderful way to convey the idea of health to your subconscious is through disciplined or scientific imagination. I told a man who was suffering from functional paralysis to make a vivid picture of himself walking around his office, touching the desk, answering the telephone, and doing all the things he ordinarily would do if he were healed. I explained to him that this mental visualization of perfect health would be accepted by his subconscious mind. He threw himself into the role. He actually felt himself back in the office. He knew that he was giving his subconscious mind something concrete and definite to work upon. His subconscious mind was the film upon which the visualization was impressed. He continued this visualization discipline intensely for several weeks. Then one day the telephone rang at a time when everyone else was out. The telephone was 12 feet away from his bed. Nevertheless, he managed to answer it. His paralysis vanished from that hour on. The healing power of his subconscious mind had responded to his mental imagery, and a healing followed. This man had suffered from a mental block that prevented nerve impulses generated in the brain from reaching his legs. Therefore, he could not walk. When he shifted his attention to the healing power within him, the power flowed through his focused attention, and he could walk again. Whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing, ye shall receive. Ideas worth remembering. Your subconscious mind controls all the vital processes of your body and knows the answer to all problems. Prior to sleep, turn over a specific request to your subconscious mind and prove its miracle working power to yourself. Whatever you impress on your subconscious mind is expressed on the screen of space as conditions, experiences, and events. Therefore, you should carefully watch all ideas and thoughts entertained in your conscious mind. The law of action and reaction is universal. Your thought is action, and the reaction is the automatic response of your subconscious mind to your thought. Watch your thoughts. All frustration is due to unfulfilled desires. If you dwell on the obstacles, delays, and difficulties, your subconscious mind responds accordingly, and you're blocking your own good. The life principle will flow through you rhythmically and harmoniously if you consciously affirm, I believe that the subconscious power that gave me this desire is now fulfilling it through me. This dissolves all conflicts. You can interfere with the normal rhythm of your heart, lungs, and other organs by worry, anxiety, and fear. Feed your subconscious with thoughts of harmony, health, and peace, and all the functions of your body will be normal again. Keep your conscious mind busy with the expectation of the best, and your subconscious will faithfully reproduce your habitual thinking. Imagine the happy ending or solution to your problem. Feel the thrill of accomplishment and, oops, a little too fast. Hang on a sec. Come on. Here we go. Keep your conscious mind busy with the expectation of the best, and your subconscious mind will faithfully reproduce your habitual thinking. Here we go. Imagine the happy ending or solution to your problem. Feel the thrill of accomplishment, and what you imagine and feel will be accepted by your subconscious mind, which will bring it to pass. Mental healings in ancient times. Through the ages, people in every continent, climate, and culture have instinctively known that somewhere there resided a healing power that could restore the abilities and functions of a person's body to its normal state of efficiency and good health. They believed that this strange power could be invoked under certain conditions, and that if it were invoked properly, the alleviation of human suffering would follow. The history of all nations presents testimony in support of this belief. In the early history of the world, the power of secretly influencing men for good or evil, including the healing of the sick, was said to be possessed by priests, priestesses, and holy people. They claimed to possess powers derived directly from God that included the healing of the sick. The procedures and processes of healing varied throughout the world, but they generally included supplications and offerings to the god. Various ceremonies, such as laying on of hands and incantations, and the use of amulets, talismans, rings, relics, and images. For example, in the religions of antiquity, priests in the ancient temples gave drugs to their patients and practiced hypnotic suggestions as they went to sleep. The patients were told that the gods would surely visit them in their sleep and heal them. Many healings followed. The devotees of Hecate were told to mix lizard with resin, frankincense, and myrrh, and pound all this together in the open air under the crescent moon. After performing these bizarre and mysterious rites, they prayed to the goddess, took the potion that they just compounded, and went to sleep. If their faith was strong enough, they saw the goddess in a dream. This rite, which sounds so strange, even fantastic to our ears, was often followed by healings. People in ancient times worked out many effective ways to tap the incredible power of the subconscious mind and use it for healing. While they knew that these procedures worked, however, they did not understand how or why they worked. Today, we can see that they are using potent suggestions to the subconscious mind. The rituals and potions and amulets appealed powerfully to the imagination of people and favored the acceptance by the subconscious mind of the insistent suggestions given by the healer. But the work of healing was done by the patient's own subconscious mind. In all ages, unofficial healers have obtained remarkable results in cases where authorized medical skill had failed and the patients had given up hope. This gives cause for thought. How do these healers in all parts of the world affect their cures? The answer is that these healings take place because the blind belief of the sick person released the healing power resident in his or her subconscious mind. The more fantastic, in particular, the remedies and methods used by the healers, the more likely the patients were to believe that anything so strange must be unusually powerful. Their aroused emotional state made it easier for them to accept the suggestion of health in both their conscious and subconscious mind. This point will be discussed at greater length in the next chapter. Biblical accounts of the use of the subconscious powers. What things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that you receive them, and ye shall have them. Reread this passage and pay close attention to the difference in tenses. The verbs believe and receive are in the present, but the verb shall have is in the future. The inspired writer is telling us something of the greatest importance by the seemingly minor difference in the grammar of the sentence. If we believe and accept as true the fact that our desire has already been accomplished and fulfilled, that it is already completed, then its realization will follow as the thing in the future. The success of this technique relies on the confident conviction that the thought, the idea, the picture is already fact in mind. In order for anything to have substance in the realm of mind, it must be thought of as actually existing. Here, in a few cryptic words, is a concise and specific direction for making use of the creative power of thought by impressing upon the subconscious the particular thing you desire. Your thought, idea, plan, or purpose is as real on its own plane as your hand or your heart. In following the biblical technique, you completely eliminate from your mind all consideration of conditions, circumstances, or anything that might imply a negative outcome. You're planting a seed concept in the mind that, if you leave it undisturbed, will infallibly germinate into external fruition. The prime condition that Jesus insisted upon was faith. Over and over again, you read in the Bible, according to your faith, it is done unto you. If you plant certain types of seeds in the ground, you have faith they will grow after their kind. This is the way of seeds, and trusting the laws of growth in agriculture, you know the seeds will come forth after their kind. The faith that is described in the Bible is a way of thinking, an attitude of mind, an inner certitude, knowing that the idea you fully accept in your conscious mind will be embodied in your subconscious mind and made manifest. Faith is, in a sense, accepting as true what your reason and senses deny. It is dozing down, refusing to listen to the little rational and analytical conscious mind, and embracing an attitude of complete reliance on the inner power of your subconscious mind. Here is one of the best known examples of the biblical technique of healing. And when he was come into the house, the blind men came to him, and Jesus saith unto them, Believe ye that I am able to do this? They said unto him, Yea, Lord. Then touched he their eyes, saying, According to your faith be it unto you. And their eyes were opened, and Jesus straitly charged them, saying, See that no man know it. By saying, According to your faith be it unto you, Jesus was openly appealing to the cooperation of the subconscious mind of the blind men. Their faith was their great expectancy, their inner feeling, their inner conviction that something miraculous would happen, that their prayer would be answered, and therefore it was. This is the time-honored technique of healing, utilized alike by all healing groups throughout the world, regardless of religious affiliation. In saying, "See that no man know it," Jesus was urging the healed patients not to discuss their healing with others. Let me repeat that. In saying, "See that no man know it," Jesus was urging the healed patients not to discuss their healing with others. If they did so, they might be harassed by the skeptical and derogatory criticisms of the unbelieving. Let me repeat that also. If they did so, they might be harassed by the skeptical and derogatory criticisms of the unbelieving. This in turn might have tended to undo the benefits they had received at the hand of Jesus by depositing thoughts of fear, doubt, and anxiety in the subconscious mind. For with authority and power he commandeth the unclean spirits, and they came out. When the sick came to Jesus to be healed, they were healed by their own faith, together with his faith and understanding of the healing power of the subconscious mind. Whatever he decreed, he felt inwardly to be true. He and the people needing help were in one universal subjective mind, and his silent inner knowing and conviction of the healing power changed the negative, destructive patterns in the patient's subconscious. The resultant healings were the automatic response to the internal mental change. His command was his appeal to the subconscious mind of the patients, plus his awareness, feeling, and absolute trust in the response of the subconscious mind to the words that he spoke with authority. Miracles at various shrines throughout the world. On every continent, in every land, there are shrines at which cures take place. Some are world famous, others are known only to those who live nearby. Whether celebrated or obscure, the healings that happen at these shrines happen for the same reasons and by way of the same power of the subconscious mind. I have visited several of the famous shrines in Japan. The central focus of the world-renowned shrine of Daibutsu is a gigantic bronze statue, 42 feet tall. It depicts Buddha seated with folded hands, his head inclined in an attitude of profound contemplative ecstasy. Here I saw young and old making offerings at its feet. Money, fruit, rice, oranges were offered. Candles were lit, incense were burned, and prayers of petition were recited. I listened to the chant of a young girl as she intoned a prayer, bowed low, and placed 2 oranges as an offering. She was thanking Buddha for restoring her voice. She had lost her voice, but it was restored at the shrine. Her simple faith that Buddha would give her back her singing voice as she followed a certain ritual, fasted, and made certain offerings had helped to kindle faith and expectancy. The result was a conditioning of her mind to the point of belief. Her subconscious mind then responded to her belief. The power of imagination and blind belief cannot be overstated. A wondrous example of this is the case of a relative of mine in Perth, in Western Australia, who suffered from tuberculosis. His lungs were badly diseased. His son decided to help his father heal himself. He went to his father's home and told him he had recently met a wandering monk with strange powers. The monk had just returned from a long stay at one of the most celebrated healing shrines in Europe. There he had acquired a small fragment of the true cross, set in a ring that dated back to the Middle Ages. Over the centuries, countless sufferers had been healed after touching the ring or the fragment of the cross. When the son had heard this, he had told the monk about his father's illness and begged to borrow the ring. The monk had agreed. The son gave the monk a free will offering of an equivalent of $500. When the son showed the father the ring, the older man practically snatched it from him. He clasped the ring to his chest, prayed silently, and went to sleep. In the morning, he was healed. All the clinic's tests proved negative. Healings of this sort happen all the time. What is most significant about this one is the son's amazing story was totally made up. In fact, he had picked up a splinter of an ordinary wood from the sidewalk, taken it to a jeweler, and had it set in a gold ring of antique design. He then gave it to his father. You know, of course, it was not the splinter of wood from the sidewalk that healed the father. No, it was the imagination aroused in an intense degree, plus the confident expectancy of a perfect healing. Imagination was joined to faith or subjective feeling, and the union of the two brought about a healing through the power of his subconscious mind. The father never learned of the trick that had been played upon him. If he had, he might have well had a relapse. Instead, his tuberculosis never returned. He remained completely cured and passed away from other causes 15 years later at the age of 99. Okay. We're going to go ahead and stop there for today as far as what we're going to read. And hey, we've got some more people. Thank you guys for joining us. Glad to have you here with us today. That's awesome. And so now I will open things up for everybody. This is your opportunity to share. This is your opportunity to share your comments, to share your experiences, to share what you've been learning, what you've come to recognize and become aware of as a result of what we've been studying. This is your opportunity if you've had success yourself, particularly in the manifestation of money and wealth in your life, to share those happenings, those stories, and how it came about. And this is also your opportunity to ask questions related to what we've been going over today, or related to manifesting more money and wealth in your life. So what you do is just come off of mute and start sharing, and we'll take in the order that you do that. So this is your time.
Okay, so anybody could go.
You're welcome to go.
Hey, how you? Hey, how y'all doing, everybody? My name Daquan. I hope everybody having holidays going well. Of course, what's going on right now. Hope everybody being safe and healthy. And I definitely want to talk about the subconscious mind for a second. I want to elaborate on that. So me personally, I've been doing mind science and been into the metaphysical things for the last 5 years or so. So I'm very deep into that. When it comes to faith, I'm very deep into that. But when it comes to the subconscious mind, that's like the first thing. I'm glad you brought that up first. It's my first time in a group. That's like the first thing that I really start studying when I really got into the law of, maybe let's say 6 months to a year, getting into the law of attraction and mind science and things like that. Because the power of the subconscious mind is crazy because it governs 95% of your life. And when I came to realize that, because we go through life like, oh, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? You feel what I'm saying? So that's what I was going. I really hit a place where it was like rock bottom. I felt depressed and everything. And that's when, like, that's about 5 years ago. I felt depressed. Things wasn't going well. I just felt like I was dying on the inside. So I didn't go to no doctor. I didn't go reach out to nobody. I just turned on YouTube, and I turned on, and the video that popped up is like, it's like something led me to there. And the video that popped up was Ralph Smart with Infinite Waters, and I'm quite sure y'all familiar with Ralph Smart. Are y'all Ralph
I
Smart?
haven't, but that's okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's into, like, I mean, he's a vegan or whatever, but he's into the mind science, and he makes a lot of videos for the last 12 years dealing with the laws of the universe and things like that. And when I start reading about when I start watching his videos, I saw a video about depression because that's how I was feeling. So I looked at the video. He said depression is nothing but deep resting, like you resting on your emotions, like a deep. That's what depression means, deep resting. But I knew I had to reprogram my subconscious mind through repetition or hypnosis, or there's some other ways you can do it too. It could be trauma or anything like that. Because the age 0 to 7, we've been programmed a certain type of way. Definitely me, and I'm quite sure everybody else was programmed a certain type of way. And these was attracting certain situations and circumstances in your life. Like I was born in poverty stricken environment, and I had to reprogram my mind. I had to reprogram my mind for a prosperity consciousness instead of poverty consciousness. And it worked. It's working. Of course, it's working out for me now. So going through the motions and definitely getting through that and reprogram your subconscious mind. It's a never ending journey too. I know there's no such thing as stagnating. I gotta keep growing or I'm gonna die at the end of the day. So, and that's pretty much, that's all I want to say. I'm gonna give somebody else a chance to go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate you sharing that.
No problem.
Yeah. All right. Who else? You can share comments. You can ask questions. You can share experiences.
So my name is Michael. I just signed on about 10 minutes ago. I just saw you read the last paragraph or whatever you were reading, so I really didn't catch what this is all about. Maybe you could explain in like 1 or 2 minutes. Give me an explanation of what's going on.
Okay. Real quickly, probably the quickest way to explain what's going on is short brief my background. Um, I've been like everybody else at one point. I had some struggle with manifesting what I wanted. But that goes back quite a ways. I've been personally worked together closely with two different gentlemen at different times in my life that have helped me understand money, business, and entrepreneurship. And then somebody else who helped me understand how the mind works in law of attraction. So I've personally been mentored and trained by Robert Kiyosaki, if you're familiar with Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
Okay. Worked very closely with him and his team several years ago. I was brought on board to help them grow their business. And as a result, I got to see the inside out of what they were doing. And of course, that had a strong impact on me. Fast forward a little bit after that, have you guys heard of a gentleman by the name of Bob Proctor? Bob
Yes.
Proctor, if you haven't heard of him, he's the author of a book called You're Born Rich, but where you may have seen him at the very beginning, or where he kind of got, he's been in the personal development field now forever. He's 87 years old right now, and he started in that field at age 27. So he's had 60 years that he's been helping people understand personal development and how the mind works, especially in relationship to manifesting what you want. So Bob was highlighted heavily in the movie and the book, The Secret. If you've ever heard of that, if you haven't, and you have Netflix, go look up The Secret and go watch it today. It's a good movie, and you'll learn some things for sure. But anyhow, taking the concept of, all the things that I've learned from Robert, taking all the things, I've been a coach, been coached personally by Bob Proctor, been a coach and facilitator for his programs also. And I'm independent now in the sense I've gone and done my own thing. But those are, I would say there's many other people that have impacted my life. But if I were to highlight two that would have the biggest impact, they're the ones I spent the most time with. I got to know the best. So if you understand their philosophies a little bit, I'm combining the ideas around law of attraction and how the mind works with also what people would consider practical side of understanding business and entrepreneurship and things like that. And the one thing that I figured out is when the mind is programmed correctly to help you instead of fight against you, all the other stuff that you learn will be way more effective. But if you just go out there and you learn and start studying business and entrepreneurship and, and wealth and how to make money, probably won't get the results that you want just from studying those things if the programming in your subconscious mind is in opposition to all of that. So what we've got to help people do is get their subconscious mind to cooperate with them. Also have people understand how the universe operates and how everything operates by law, so that we're not breaking laws and breaking ourselves up against those laws. So in a nutshell, we come together 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, for about 45 minutes or so, and study different things that will help us better understand ourselves and how the universe works. Right now, particularly with the power of the subconscious mind, we're studying more into ourselves and how we work right now. So that's kind of what you jumped in the middle of.
Okay.
We have a Facebook group that has the exact same name. Hold on here a second. It has the same name as the meetup. You could go find it, ask to join it. Because if you do, let me see if I can get to come up here.
I want to be rich. Is that it?
I want to be really rich. And but really, yeah, I want to be really rich. It's facebook.com/groups/ I want to be really rich. Ask to join us because we have additional material in here, special announcements, but also as long as I remember to record these sessions, which I've only got one that missed because the recording got messed up. Other than that, all of that information that we've done over the last month and a half or so is all in there. So you can go in there and see anything that you like.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good to have you. All right. Any additional questions or comments for me or us?
Well, I do have a question.
Yes.
Um, so according to like, when it comes to reprogramming your subconscious mind, of course we know repetition and things like that, but some people go through trauma, some people go, utilize things, especially as of right now. What is your method of reprogramming your subconscious mind when it comes to your desires and also maintaining that feeling? Because we know thought is one thing, but feeling gets the blessing. It's a vibration that attracts. The
Yes.
thought, you could think whatever you want, but you got to feel that. You got to be that person. You can't just, okay, I think I want to be this. You got to be that right now. How would you feel for that end result and be that right now? Then you're going to attract that. But what is your method of, continuing to, um, keep your mind reprogrammed and not letting anything distract you and, things like that?
Okay, I'll give you one word and then I'll explain it a little bit. Clarity. Clarity of thought and purpose. What do I mean by that? Why am I saying clarity? Because most of us are not intentional about our thoughts. We just let them ramble on. And we don't have clarity because we haven't made the decision of what we really want. We try and wait till things line up for us and then decide we want it versus saying, hey, here's what I want, and then let God and the universe help that happen. So as far as my favorite technique per se is minimum twice a day, but multiple times a day if possible, which it really is possible. You just have to choose it is more what it is.
Or you saying more
But
twice a day?
I'll say morning and night. The most important thing is after you have clarity of thought and purpose. So you have to get to that first. And there's, it's a little more than I can answer right just here in a few minutes, how to get to that point. But once you do know what you want, okay, once you do know what you want, then what I do is I will, right before I go to bed, 10, 15 minutes typically, I will go live in my mind that life as if it already is going on.
Okay.
What I like to do to supercharge and add good emotion to that is to make it a celebration and to put it out afterwards. I don't see myself accomplishing the goal. I see myself after the goal has been accomplished. I don't focus on the process at all because now I'm trying to force God to deliver to me my good through my channel instead of allowing him to open up any channel he wants for me to receive it. Instead of saying, hey, give it to me and give it to me this way, I'm just like, no, you know the way. My job is this. And my job's the easy job. It's hard because it's in total opposition to everything we've been programmed to do. Society thinks we ought to do. I make more money when I do less.
Exactly. That's right. That's exactly right, man.
Yeah,
you're exactly right.
I had, when I first got reprogrammed and started going through this process, which was back in very early 2006, my income went from 5 to 6 grand a month. And then after about 2.5, 3 months of working on my programming, my income jumped up. And for the rest of the year, I made $400,000 in 8 months. So that's $50,000 a month. So I went from 5 to 6 up to 50 in under 3 months.
Okay.
Right. And it was way easier. I was working 50 to 60 hours a week. The amount of time I needed to put in to make that other stuff happen, I was working 10 to 15 hours a week. So not only did my income multiply by nearly 10 times, but instead of a 50-hour week average, I had a 15-hour a week average. And that hasn't changed to this day. As far as the amount of time I work, the amount of money has increased over time sometimes, but the amount of hours I've put in to receive has not. But that was all
passive.
That was all a change. No, it's not passive even. A lot of people, oh, you got this passive income stream. No, that's not how it's been for me. It's been, I manifest, boom, okay, $88,000 in 1 month, 32,000 another month, 47 this other month. It's for me, it's more as I ask for it and need it, it comes.
Doing what? How did you make the money?
And that's what everybody wants to know.
I mean, Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That was a good question. And that's what everybody wants to know because they think it's the thing. They think it's the tactic. I made that money doing multiple different things at different times.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it was selling for a direct sales company. Sometimes it was a real estate property that got flipped. Sometimes it was a business that I started. Sometimes it was somebody hiring me to be a business consultant for them. Sometimes it was somebody who said, hey, would you coach me in doing something? I'll pay you for it. So what I'm getting at is everybody wants to know the secret business that's going to make them the money. And it's not the business, it's the programming that's going to bring the money in.
Yeah.
And that's where
Right about that.
I've also had things where I didn't have to receive money to get what I want. I manifested like new. I didn't pay for it. It was given to me. I was manifested a like new M650i convertible.
But you used your skills and talents.
That I did. That was given to me. I did no business transaction whatsoever. I received that from a business partner who just gave it to me and didn't even know I wanted one. They said, this feels like this car belongs to you more than it belongs to me. I don't need it right now. Do you want it? And they gave me a car that was $130,000. And I didn't pay for it. What I had to pay for was the gas and the maintenance on it while I used it. And I used it for 9 months without car payments, without ownership, without insurance, because they had their own. So the point I'm getting back to his question. So I visualize something as if it's already happened. And I'd like to play games with myself and create celebrations or parties.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. So for instance, for instance, if there are awards, and I'm not really that competitive, like trying to beat everybody out for anything. But if there was a direct sales company I was involved in, I was doing pretty well, but I didn't set an income goal. But what I did after the first year, I did pretty well, but I wanted to do better the next year. So what did I go do? What I decided was I wanted to receive 2 particular awards. So I spent no time trying to think about how to make my business bigger. No time trying to figure out how to become better at selling. No time trying to do any of those things. What I did is I spent time picturing myself going across stage receiving those 2 awards. Because in order to receive those 2 specific awards, my income would have had to have gone up anyway, because they were somewhat related to that. Well, I did that, again, not focusing on what everybody else thinks I should have. I focused on that, and I saw myself over and over. So that 10, 15 minutes in the morning, I do it in the middle of the day. Sometimes I do it at the end of the day. I felt all of that. So I already had received those awards. Then when I went to the particular conference where everything was happening, they were handing out awards. I guess I did such a good job on the award side that I received 8 awards. I received 6 that I didn't even ask for. I think they made up 2 of them just because I had focused on going across stage and shaking hands and giving my little speech. I ended up doing that 8 times. And the top people in the company, maybe did it 3 or 4. So it was, you're like, hold on, but what about, didn't you work? And yeah, I did, but it was guided and directed work. It wasn't helter-skelter work. And it was easy. One of the things that helped me get there is I decided, hey guys, if you guys go do this, I'm going to pay for all of you to go to Disneyland. And they're like, okay, let's do it. Create a little contest, boom, blew up. Had fun. We all went to Disneyland and we rented, if you know what Turo is, I said, what we're going to do when we go to Disneyland the day before is we're all going to rent. I'm going to give everybody $300, go rent a car, any car you want for up to $300. If you want more, pay for it. So we had BMWs and Corvettes and all this stuff off of Turo, and we all went racing up and down the coast.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
But that made a lot of money. But that idea didn't come by me trying to figure out how to do that. That idea came from me visualizing myself on stage receiving the awards.
Exactly. And that's it's funny you said that, because you mentioned Bob Proctor too, and
Yeah.
Bob Proctor, I'm a big fan of him too. Of course, we got a lot of it's so many people out there that philanthropists and people that's good with the mind science and personal development field. But Bob Proctor is definitely somebody that really got it. Like he really explains it so easy. You don't have to worry about how. You just got to worry about where you're going and know you're going to get there. That's
Yeah.
all you got to worry about. You don't got to worry about how. The how take care of itself. And
Right. And
that's
everybody
why
fights that. Everybody fights
exactly. How I do this, how I do that. Everybody, I still sometimes have my time when my mind try to shift because you're gonna have programs that try to come back up to test you to see if you really want that.
Yeah.
So that's where it comes to personal development because you maybe think, oh, nothing's going on because you don't see anything on the surface physical. Okay, but does how long you got to nurture a bamboo seed before it even comes out of the ground? 4 or 5 years, right?
Yeah.
But soon as it comes across the surface, it grows like 90 feet tall in 6 weeks.
Yep. Yep.
That's planting seeds in your mind and watering them, nurturing them, and know that everything is gonna everything is gonna work out. Don't worry about how it's gonna work out. You just go through the motions. Like it's like once you program, it's like something is guiding you and pulling you, even through little challenges and everything. You're like, damn, why is this happening to me? It's something on the other end of that challenge your subconscious is pulling you through to make you stronger for that next stage. And that's what I start realizing. It's a stepping stone to everything. It's the steps that your subconscious is taking you through to prepare you to become that person, become that millionaire, become, whatever you desire. It's basically being that person.
Yep.
It's crazy. I like it though.
Awesome. All right. So we're a little past, but if there are any additional questions or comments that anybody would like to share right now, I'm happy to take those. I'll stay a few more minutes, or if not, we will see you tomorrow. One way or the other, I'm happy either way.
Yeah, most definitely.
I can see that instead of the 20 plus that we normally have, we're a little shorter. I imagine that's related to the week that it is, but I promised I'd be here, so I'm going to be here.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy things like that. I could talk about this. It's just something that I don't know, something within you. When you really get into it, it's something that's in you that's like, just like when you talk about it, just fires and wires. That's why I joined this group. I have a mastermind group with a couple people I know that I was in business with. I did Primerica. I'm I don't work for nobody. I do business myself. I sell designer products and everything. So, really one thing that really what made me go down this path was not wanting to work a 9 to 5 job, not wanting to have a boss. That's what made me go down that path. Not being on somebody else's time. But if you love doing what you're doing, that doesn't matter. That's what can't argue with that.
Yeah.
But me, even if I love doing it, I'm not having no boss doing it. I'm gonna build my own thing.
It is definitely a different journey, and to do that, if you are working more hours than you want to, I really wanted my time even as much or more than money. I didn't set a money goal to make $50,000 a month. I lived a lifestyle in my head, and 50,000 is what was needed to make it happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
That's why it was never the same every month.
Yeah.
I mean, one month it was $88,000. Like I said, another month it's
Oh.
36,000. Different month it was this or that or whatever. But what I really wanted at that point was time, because back when I had my jobs, I was working 50, 60 hours, and I didn't want to do that anymore. I was like, how can I work a lot less and make a lot more? That was the question I was asking myself, not trying to how to like strain, but it's just like, you know what, there's other people out there that make a lot more money in a lot less time. So I don't need to spend a lot of time to make a lot of money. I just need to believe that it's possible, and then wait till I get the inspiration, revelation, intuition of what's the next step to go take. People try and take that step too fast.
Exactly.
But once once you get that inspiration, follow it, because if you don't, you might be missing out.
Yeah,
Because things got lined up for you, and now it's time to take that action. And usually that's when the terror barrier pops up that Bob talks about. That's where people don't want to walk through it because they get the pit, knot in their stomach thing, and they're like, it felt so good before, but now that I have to do something I've never done before or spend some money on something,
See, that's crazy.
What do you suggest to overcome that, the terror barrier?
You go through it. You recognize what it is.
Yeah,
You
that's the
you
only thing, huh?
recognize it for what it is.
The what barrier?
Terror barrier. Go YouTube today, watch a few videos, but make sure they're Bob Proctor when it comes to terror barrier. YouTube terror barrier and let Bob Proctor explain it to you. It's what stops almost all of us. Even after we've already gotten the signal from God that he wants us to move forward. See, we ask God, should I have something? However we believe in God in the universe, we ask and then we feel good. And then we think about it and we actually meditate, we do some things good, we're feeling good about it. And then we're prompted to do something, or somebody says, okay, time to write the check.
Yeah.
And we go, oh!
It's that jumping into the unknown, right? The unknown scares people. Entrepreneurs, it's all about the unknown. That's where big things happen, is in the unknown, not the known. You comfortable inside your little box or anything like that, you can't grow. There's no such thing as growing without uncomfortability. You got to get uncomfortable. Did you just get behind the wheel and just drive? No. You had to get uncomfortable, thought you was gonna crash, like, oh no. Then now your subconscious know how to drive. You don't think about nothing. You don't even think about driving when you drive. You think about all your problems or something. And you drive and you don't crash the car. That's what subconscious repetition. That's what it's about.
Yep. Yep.
You can do the same thing with all your desires.
Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.
All right.
Bye, Kevin. Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye,
Bye,
Kevin.
everybody.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
tomorrow.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Kevin, I'm looking at.
Thank you.
Hold on. Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking at it says 10 a.m. Where are you located?
I am in the San Diego area.
Oh, yep.
Uh-huh. Okay,
one
that's
over here.
why mine said 1 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
When you write, you gotta write Pacific Standard Time on your menus next time, on the think. Otherwise, I wouldn't understand this.
For Meetup, I did stick it into the Meetup at your time, and
Mine said 1 p.m. Mine said Eastern time.
I'm
1
looking
p.m.
at this now. I don't want to apologize for the confirmation. I don't know if you could see that. Yeah.
I can't. Okay. Well, anyhow, it is 10.
Yeah. But otherwise I would have been up 10 in the morning here waiting to see what's going on. Say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to write Pacific Standard.
I don't even write that. Zoom does it.
Oh, all right.
Zoom, because it does it based upon my time, I guess.
I got you.
And I set it up here, but I'm offering it to the entire country.
So it's always 1 o'clock then for me on the eastern border. Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome.